What's up, YouTube? I'm not a typical person who creates YouTube videos and posts them very often, but I have something on my mind right now, and I really just want to get it out into the world. Something that's very dear to my heart, concerns me a lot, and if there's anything that I could say in this video that could help anybody else out there, then it was worth it. It's worth putting myself out there. So I just want to talk about my personal experience with depersonalization and derealization. It's been going on now for about 6 months. It came on for me all of a sudden after a panic attack. I had a lot of stress build up in my life. I don't want to divulge too much personal information or too many details, but basically I just had a lot of stress in my life for months, and I agree with the theory that says that depersonalization can happen after a lot of prolonged stress, and I think that I agree with the theory that it can come on as a defense mechanism by your brain. And, you know, that makes sense. It makes sense as to how to explain it, for my situation anyway. So yeah, that happened. And right now, as I'm filming this, I would say that I still do feel it. Every day of my life, I feel spaced out. I feel it every day. And, you know, it's not as bad as it was when it first came on. But right now, you know, I just wanted to talk about a couple of the things that I have done to help myself. I want to talk about good things that depersonalization has actually done good in my life. The good things that it has done in my life. And I also want to talk about the bad things that it has done for me as well, as a way to show that I can relate to you, I know what you're going through, and just a few other highlights. So, some bad things. I felt a lot of despair. Never thought it would get better. I never thought it would turn my life around. I felt a lot of anxiety every day. I felt a lot of depression. OCD thoughts. Existential OCD thoughts. All kinds of OCD thoughts. Suicide. Every day thought about suicide because the pain was so great. I thought I was losing my mind, going insane. Thoughts of what is real, what is not. You know, when you're questioning your own reality, it's frightening, and you do feel like you are going insane. You know, and it made me feel a little ashamed and guilty that I was hurting my family in the process, because, you know, not purposefully, but they were feeling the effects of my pain, and it wasn't easy on them by any means. So it made me feel guilty. It did, and I know I shouldn't have felt that way, but I did. That's only the tip of the iceberg as far as the bads go, really, but I don't want to focus on the bads because you know the bads, you're understanding it, you're feeling it, and it sucks. But it's not all bad. This experience is not all bad. Trust me. I mean, you don't know me, but just trust me on that. So I'm a nurse. I have studied the brain central nervous system. I've studied psychology. I've studied the health and nutrition in the body, and I never learned about depersonalization when I was in nursing school, but I've done a lot of research on it now, and I will say that the brain, you have to think about sort of how the brain works as far as connections. Like, when I studied nursing, I strengthened those connections in my brain that were nursing oriented. So I focused a lot on what nursing is, how to be a good nurse, science about the body. I strengthened a lot of those connections in my brain. And it goes for anything, any area that you want to focus on, right? Any area in life. You strengthen those connections in your brain by focusing on it. So, with depersonalization, I will say that anyone suffering with it needs to not focus on it. Basically, the more that you strengthen those connections in your brain surrounding depersonalization, what it is, what it means, the stronger it's going to get in your brain. The stronger that you will feel that way. So the longer you spend on the internet looking up things about it, commiserating with other people who have it, talking about it, complaining about it, the more time that you spend doing things like that, of that nature, the stronger that it's going to feel for you, because you're strengthening those connections in your brain. And I'm not saying that in order to get rid of those connections in your brain or not make them stronger, you need to ignore it or act like it's not happening or anything like that. No. But some things that you can do to help yourself, and that helped me, is sort of just look at health as a spectrum. Look at depersonalization as a spectrum. It can get better, it can get worse. Some days you're going to feel it more, some days you're going to feel it less. So things that you can do for yourself so that you feel it less. Eat right. Go on the internet, look up how to eat right if you don't know how. I'm not going to talk about that. Get an animal. Have a cat. And he's awesome. His name is Orpheus, aka Fatty. When cats purr, their vibrations naturally bring down your anxiety levels. For me, that definitely does help. Breathe. Sometimes all we have to do in life really is just breathe. Go outside in nature. Take the time to just simply sit in nature and enjoy it for what it is. Go to your favorite place. Clear your mind. Don't think about depersonalization. Just be present. Don't think about anything. And I know that's impossible, but try it. Get off the internet. I already said that. You could try therapy. Yeah, some therapists get it, some don't. I've had a couple of friends that understand it more so than therapists, which is pretty ironic, but yeah. Try to find a therapist that understands. If they don't understand, or if they tell you it's just something else, if they tell you that it's just anxiety, go to somebody else. Or don't talk about depersonalization, talk about other things you need to work on in your life. The good things for me that have come out of it. My life is completely different now. I have refocused my energies and basically I don't live in this material world any longer like I used to. I've become way more spiritually oriented. And, people who have depersonalization do suffer from existential rumination. I get that. I still do. But it's not a bad thing for me anymore like it used to be. I'm way more calm than I used to be, as far as the existential thoughts. I just feel like I'm on sort of a different conscious plane, if you will, now. I've made it a priority of mine to be mindful. If you don't know what mindfulness is, this is a great book. Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life by Stephen Hayes, a great psychologist. I love him. Look up his videos. Read that book. It teaches you how to be mindful. Every day, I can tell myself, I'm feeling depersonalized today. But you know what? It's just a thought. It's just a feeling. I'm going to go on with my life. That's mindfulness. Being aware of your thoughts and living your life regardless of the negative thoughts. Continuing on to be present in what you're doing, regardless of the awful, awful thoughts and feelings that you're having. Meditation. I got that meditation pillow on Amazon. It has buckwheat in it. Mindfulness is amazing. Some people don't think it's good for depersonalization. Try it out. If you feel even more weird and depersonalized and awful and miserable when you're doing it, don't do it. But for me, it helps to just clear my mind. And it helps me to live in the moment. Also, mindfulness helps you to live in the moment. Life doesn't have to be complicated. Our brains make it complicated. All we have to do is just be here right now. Which leads me to another book that is called Be Here Now by Baba Ram Dass. He is a Buddhist philosopher / psychologist from Harvard. That was his previous life, psychologist from Harvard. Went to India, changed his life, wrote this book about how to be present. I guess I'll talk about this other book that I found that has really helped me, My Stroke of Insight by Jill Bolte Taylor. I listened to her TED Talk, and it's the second most watched TED Talk. And she wrote this book about her experience with a stroke. She had a stroke that completely wiped out her ability to function as a human being as far as language, speaking, understanding language, eating, walking, remembering her past life. Like, she was just completely... She lost most of her brain, and she felt a profound sense of peace through that loss. But she kind of explains how to tap into that peaceful part of your brain, and you don't have to have a stroke to experience it, but how to sort of stop the brain chatter that always happens, and how to be peaceful. Yeah. Guys, I feel your pain, I do, and I still do feel the depersonalization every day of my life. But I'm working now, I'm working full time. I stay active, I stay social, I do the things that I love to do. I want to tell you that there's hope out there, and I wish that I could spend time with people with depersonalization and to talk and to help and to understand and have compassion, because I do understand. So I hope that some of the things that I told you about or talked about will help. Leave a comment. I would love to talk or help any way that I can. I wish you love and peace, and I know, easy for me to say, but it does get better and easier. Just try out some of the things I said, and I hope that it helps. See you guys.